Alrighty. What do we have here? Village? Where to village? I don't see a village. No village. Okay. So play a deck that just uses Wishing Well as non-terminal draw. That doesn't sound great. Just not a reliable way to line that up. Next thing to look at is there a way to make Crew any good? Crew tends to be a very good card if there's some, for big money decks at least, if there's some effect that can reliably draw one card at the start of your turn, like City Gate or Piazza or Rope, and then one copy of Crew ends up in your hand every turn. Here, you could always play with Crew plus some number of cantrips, and then as long as you find a cantrip in your starting hand, you always draw your Crew. The downside of that, of course, is with cantrips in your deck, your Crew is going to be drawing a bunch of them dead, which might suggest the Crew plan isn't that great. It's a deck here that's any good. I'm not seeing it. I'm inclined to say that Crew Big Money is slower in the absence of some trick that I can't find than just getting thin with vampires, or more specifically the bats, and then playing with like a stack of Cabin Boys and Wishing Wells and maybe some Artificers. Tools would be an okay card in that deck. And then maybe you get up to like Double Province at some point. For that deck, I think I should open with Plan and one of the fours, probably. Clan Fortune Hunter, a little bit better at hitting 5. Clan Cabin Boy puts a card that I value more into my deck. Also, I'd rather put Plan on Cabin Boy because I plan on buying more Cabin Boys in the future. Whereas I don't think I'm taking any additional Fortune Hunters after the opening. Yeah, I think I like... The trouble with Plan Cabin Boy is it's really likely to make my Vampire miss the shuffle. Because the odds I hit 5 on turn 3 are not that good. I'll actually shuffle my deck before turn 4. So even a turn 3 Cabin Boy isn't getting me to Vampire in time. But I think the upside's worth it. I just gotta hope that I bottom deck both estates. Nope, no dice. Yeah, so had 10 cards, I trashed 1 card and add no stop cards. So turn 3 Cabin Boy, with most durations, is usually a lot better than seeing it turn 4. But the reason is because you get to resolve its effect and put it back in the deck before you trigger the shuffle, but I've already shuffled. It's not a big deal because my deck is thin, that shuffle is not very long. Xyrix too. So Xyrix had the 4-3, I think is pretty clear from this opening. I mean, not that playing Wishing Well is bad or anything, but it's just not what you would do on 3-4 if you had the opportunity to do something else. I'll take my Vampire now. Actually, I mean, he did manage to hit Vampire turn 3, which is a pretty good case for the Wishing Well, I suppose. Ah, a few years back in the Dominion Online Championships, there was a Japanese player named Pop 180. And Pop 180 made it to the final 8. And whenever you make it to the final 8, you get to do a little interview. And one of the questions they often ask is like, what's your favorite and least favorite card? And there's some obvious answers, like the objectively correct answer is Swindler. Uh, and there's other defensible answers. Pop had the, at the time, avant-garde answer that his least favorite card in all of Dominion was Vampire. And I think it was roughly for this reason. Uh, I don't think that in general Vampire is that annoying of a card, but it has its moments, and at the moment I'm empathizing with Pop 180 just a little bit more than I was a few minutes ago. I don't have any terminals yet. Do I want a Crew? And Crew's not terrible here. It gets me back to my Vampires and Bats faster. The only other terminal is Fortune Hunter. I think Crew's clearly better than nothing. Is it better than Fortune Hunter? Probably. I don't plan on having that many treasures. I think I like the Crew. Not entirely sold on that fact. Could just be Artificer. I just play without terminals. There was once a tournament called the No Terminal Mix, with it was only kingdoms that had no terminal action cards and a bunch of non-terminal actions. You had to build engines that didn't play any terminal actions. It also had no villages because why would you need villages? And I won that tournament. So clearly, take an artificer and just don't take any terminals. I will win this game. All right, story time is over. Back to Dominion. Uh, Probably just more cabin boys here. Maybe a tools at some point. Is this the first bat I'm gonna have played this game? Yeah. That's fine. I've been planning a bunch and trashing a bunch of coppers off of plan. Miserable. Definitely one of the stronger hexes. At this stage in the game, it's not the worst thing in the world to see. Um, Late in the game, miserable is definitely the worst. I guess that was a little bit silly of me there. Oh, no, never mind. I was wondering why I didn't just top deck the Wishing Well with Artificer, and the answer is if I top deck the Wishing Well with Artificer, I wouldn't have been able to trash two. I was thinking clearly at the time, and then forgetting why I did the thing that I did. I'm just going to assume that I'm probably slightly behind here. I had the slightly more fortunate opening, I think, than xyrix at 5 turn 3, and more importantly, xyrix trashed my vampire, or otherwise doing fairly similar things. And so I have to assume based on that it's probably got a little bit of a lead here. We'll see. The curse does not worry me that much, mostly because I have a bat in my hand right now. I think now's a good turn to take a tools. Crash 2. Gain me another one of them artificers. Ceteris paribus, I would definitely prefer to have a stack of cabin boys than a stack of wishing wells. Wishing well will draw like probably a little under 50% of the time. For a moment here, when your deck is mostly wishing wells, it's going to hit kind of consistently. But then once you start adding anything else, they're going to decline in accuracy pretty quickly. Uh, and so maybe it's like a caravan probably on average. If the wishing well draws you a card every other turn, and cabin boy is just reliable payload to get you up to 8. That being said, Xerx has acquired quite a few wishing wells, whereas I have only the 3 cabin boys. Uh, I think I'd rather have 5 wishing wells than 3 cabin boys. I'm not sure what the exchange rate is of cabin boys to wishing wells. Uh, it's tough because like a wishing well is really a fixed upfront cost. I don't know how much it costs to build a well, let alone a well with matchup properties. But the cabin boy, I would hope you're paying a salary or a hourly wage rather than purchasing. I've been attacked. As I say that, my deck did involve purchasing cabin boys. Oh, that attack hurt a lot more than I realized at the time. The problem with me top decking one card here is now I theoretically ought to know exactly what cards on the bottom of my deck, and my skill as a Dominion player is going to be uh, hurt badly if I'm guessing correctly. And so pressure is now on. Why are you making me think like this, Xerix? I think it's a cabin boy, right? Played a cabin boy, I got 2 money. Don't I have all 3 of the cabin boys? Pretty sure I do. Am I correct? Huzzah. I'm good at this game after all. I was never going to have enough cards in hand to actually discard these artificers. I could pitch 3 to top deck a wishing well. At the cost of trashing 1 less copper. 2 less coppers, actually. Like I could trash 2 plus buy a cabin boy and trash a third one if I wanted to. I don't know how much I care about that last wishing well. Like it's okay-ish in my deck. Leaving Xerix with fewer wishing wells is also probably good, both because wishing well is what he's always going to wish for. And so not only does he have 1 less card to wish with, he has fewer of the target cards in his deck. I feel like I want to spite him to take this. I don't know if that's correct, but it is what I'm doing. Don't trash. I think I have few enough coppers for that not to be a huge concern. I may be proven wrong if I did here. Thought I bought this tools a while ago, but this is the first time I've drawn it. Let's see, we're going into turn 11. Oh, I only gained it turn 9. It wasn't that far back. Yeah, I think xyrix still has a little bit of a lead. And he's definitely thinner than I am. Copper. And me an artificer. And what to do here? Option A is just take a province. We're about the point where you want to start scoring. Option B is purple Captain Boy and just clear out all these coppers. Counter argument to that is I'm about to have 2 bats in my deck, and presumably would like to trash something with them. Option C could be something like buy a crew, gain a Cabin Boy, trash 1 copper, and I have 2 coppers left in my deck for the bats, and then I gain an artificer or something. Why do I need the crew again? Maybe it's just like 2 Cabin Boys and an artificer, or 2 artificers and a Cabin Boy. I don't know. Uh, how badly do I want that province? It's not that important that I score, but this is the turn that I would naturally, I think, want to start scoring, roughly right around here. Yeah, I don't know, like province double artificer just kind of sounds fine to me. I don't love having 3 copper left in my deck, but if I guess that's the argument for the crew, I suppose, is the cards I want to draw are bats and coppers next turn, and crew lets me draw those. The counter argument to crew is once I've done that, I've drawn the bats and the coppers next turn. There's really nothing in my deck that the crew beneficially draws, really. All the rest of this is cantrip money. So yes, probably still no crew. I'm just gonna take a province, I think. Final answer. Don't know if that's correct. That's a pretty good hex, I would say. That's actually not that important of a hex. Uh, xyrix has a bat. Panels aren't too low for me to justify taking an artificer, so I will do that. I think artificer is slightly better than cabin boy if I don't need the trashing. It's very close. Cabin boy is 2 money every other turn. Artificer is 1 money this turn. Uh, I think artificer is probably slightly better on the fact that you get all the money up front, whereas cabin boy you're getting all the money in the back end. There's also scenarios in the end game where occasionally like you usually like I need 1 more money to hit province. You could top deck a copper and then draw it. Because artificer like you can just choose to discard 0 and gain a 0 cost card. And there's scenarios where it's like gain expert or something. We're discarding I don't know 3 provinces for a shop or something could make sense. It's very close. I don't think the difference between artificer and cabin boy is more than very marginal. An argument for cabin boy would be like if my deck is very heavily cabin boy and low on artificers, then taking more cabin boys makes my wishing wells more accurate, whereas diversifying my deck makes it worse. This looks like a... What the hell happened here? It just does not look like a very good turn for xyrix, and he played 7 wishing wells. Okay, that hurts. Never mind. This is a great turn for xyrix. Why would you do this to me? This is awful. I've been attacked. Well, I'm definitely discarding the province, but I really don't know what else. Probably the wishing well. The odds that I hit are not that high. The top of the shuffle in my deck isn't all too homogeneous. Either wishing well or artificer, I think. I'm not hitting 8 this turn, so I'd rather 2 money later rather than 1 money now in this particular context. I'm just going to discard the wishing well. I don't know whether the money will matter, but it might. Fortune Hunter, that is not... Oh, I had 2 money coming in. 4 money coming in. Honestly, I totally forgot that. Wow, those artificers managed to matter, actually. This was a province turn all along. Okay, the bottom 6 cards have 3 coppers. It has to be the correct thing to wish for. Beautiful draw. Absolutely. That This turn was better than it had any right to be. I had no expectation of accomplishing any of that. And the bottom 2 cards are the last copper and the last bat. Don't mind those being there. Anyways, what the hell happened on this dumpster fire of a turn? Plays a wishing well. Wish for artificer and real. Okay, this is just your fault. You're not wishing well with your wishing well. Artificer, nope, wishing well. Artificer, nope, wishing well. Artificer, nope, wishing well. Not learning your lesson. Tools, bat. You, you thought you had artificers in your deck, and you did not. The last one connected. Okay, so Xyrix drew 1 card off of all those wishing wells. Um, that's what happened to that turn. Okay, well now I think I'm in the lead. I don't want to jinx it or anything. There's still plenty left to play. But I like my position now. Oh, look, we're doing the thing. We're gaining a copper. I can't tell you why we're doing that. Uh, do we have a bat that we need to feed? Xerix does have a bat in the deck, and I guess is out of coppers. Yeah, it seems like he just needed an extra junk card to feed to the bat. Is how I interpret that. Play a match of Dominion without a nice cold can of E8. 100% vegetable juice. Only 60 calories. Those numbers really aren't comparable at all. Percentage juice versus the total quantity of calories. Let me find a more useful number. It's 2.5 servings of vegetables and only 60 calories. There we go. Those numbers could be compared in a meaningful way. Okay, the can alleges that this is the quote original plant-powered drink. I have trouble believing that V8 vegetable juice was the first plant-powered drink that humanity conceived of. I don't know what would be. Tea, maybe? To imagine tea predates V8 at least slightly. Uh, what do I know? Why don't I have my copper in my hand? What did you do? Oh, you attacked me, you jackass. Um, so, do I top deck a copper? Just to give this bat something to munch on. The bottom 6 cards have, I think, 2 Wishing Wells in them, but they also have 1 province. 2 Wishing Wells, a province. Does Xerix have a cabin boy? I don't think so. Gains a cabin. Yeah, all me. I think I have 2 Wishing Wells, 1 province, 1 cabin boy, some number of artificers, maybe? Don't know what else is down there. I'm wondering what the odds are I draw back to the copper and the discard. They're probably not that high. I'm just I'm gonna gain a curse to be fancier about it. It's gonna guarantee that my bat can trash something. I would have been a little bit sad, I think, if I drew into the province and couldn't turn the bat into a different thing. The vampire. Okay, so there's a tools down there. Yeah, tools will also actually tools have been a fine card. Maybe I should have done it afterward. Actually, after all, words are hard. Um, if I drew the tools, I think I would have been perfectly happy trashing the tools to the bat at this stage of the game. So that's probably a good argument in favor of doing it the other way. Anyways, Cabin Boy or Duchy? Seem like the 2 options here. 4 provinces left. Makes a decent case for Duchy. Don't think I'm getting the pile out here. My bottom card would appear to be a province. Don't even try haunting me. I'm prepared to wish correctly this time. We wish in here. Wish for wishing well revealed artificer. So xyrix internalized the lesson of the previous turn, and then his deck said, nope. Did wish correctly once. Okay. Am I getting hexed? Feel like hex coming on. No, I'm not getting hexed. Okay. Hello there, province. I have two provinces down there. Aside from, I think Artificer is probably the most common card. There's two Cabin Boys down there. I think I have more than two Artificers down there. And a Copper. Woe is me. There we go. So this is for sure going to be 8. I'm happy about that. Okay. What big numbers I have. Did not manage to draw the bat, regrettably. I have overshot province, but not enough to actually make use of traveling fear in any meaningful way. So let me just double check if there's not a pile out. There could be. If I discard copper, I gain a cabin boy. Cools can gain a cabin boy. Oh, well, let's just win the game this turn then, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Man, I'm glad plan is optional. Okay. Yeah, I think that one was a bit of a case of path dependency. Xerix, again, I'm presuming had the 3-4 split and then planned Wishing Well, which is reasonable given the circumstance. But then ended up taking a bunch of Wishing Wells. I took a bunch of Cabin Boys, and I think Cabin Boy is just like a slightly better card there.